Welcome once again to the Fandom Symposium. I'm Thomas Droven, and with me is Pewter723 and Iris. Welcome again, girls.
Hello, Internet. What's up?
That's the spirit. But your spirits are about to be raised, listeners, because now we are going to be talking about the third bit in our triple podcast in DC, and we're going to be talking about Batman.
Yay!
So, I suppose the basic first is, how did you first become noticing of Batman? Iris, we'll start with you. How did you notice Batman?
I was never into Batman or DC Comics or anything like that until I started talking with Pooja. And then she wanted to do like Teen Titan role plays. And so in order to do that, I had to do a buttload of research. And through that, I got to know, all these DC characters and stuff. Mm-hmm. And that's how I got to know Batman.
All right. I got to notice Batman. I was growing up in the 80s. When I was growing up, they had about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. They were showing the original 60s show with Burt Ward and Adam West on the television. That was every afternoon, Monday to Friday, in the afternoon after school. So that gave us something to watch and everything like that. So
that show was thought it was so cheesy. The 60s Adam West and Burt Ward show. That was such a cheesy
I'm a child of the
show.
80s. I'm a child of the 80s, and if they hadn't shown that cheesy show, as you point out, then I never would have noticed Batman.
Well, what about the 90s with Batman the Animated Series? That's how I got into Batman.
Well, that came a bit later. When the 90s version came out, it showed me a few other villains and stuff that I didn't know even existed from the 60s version, which, mind you, due to, good taste and everything like that, I suppose perhaps for a decent reason, because some of them were quite grotesque and everything like that, so they had to create similar or different versions or make up villains altogether. So, it was the 90s, the 90s put me in the touch with the rest of the animated series, yeah.
I mean, like, with me, like, I don't know, I was always into Batman, because, like, over here in the States, like, Batman was pretty much everywhere. Like, even the 1980s, the Tim Burton movie, that was around. And then, like you said, the 1960s, the Adam West show, that kept, like, rerunning over here. And then we had the animated series, and then we had all the other movies, Batman and Robin. We're not going to talk about that because that movie was just a piece of crap. It was. It was just.
No, I'm not knocking it. I didn't even watch it. I was aware of it. I never watched it. And I watched the first 3, but I never watched the other one. I thought, that's it. I'm drawing the line right here.
Yeah, I feel like Batman is pretty much everywhere, and like nowadays it's like it's even more. Like he's like all over the place.
Yeah. Well, that was quick. So there you go. That's how we found out about Batman. Now, what's next?
Let's start with the origin.
Ah, yes, the tragic origin of Batman. Is it tragic irony, or is it poetic justice, or is it just something that had to be done?
How is it irony that his parents got killed? I don't find anything ironic about that.
Well, but for those of you who don't know how Batman's family got killed off, and would think to yourself, you got some nerve buster not knowing that.
Well,
just a minute, hold on, please.
Wasn't it that they went to a movie, they went to watch The Mask of Zorro, and then they just took a shortcut to Crime Alley.
Yeah.
And then this thug or whatever. Do we know who killed?
Yes, we do. I know who he was. He was a chap called Joe Chill, I think Joe Chill, that was his name, yeah.
I
Joe
thought they
Chill.
were at a play.
No, it was
it varies, you see.
It depends. But
yeah,
I think what it was, they went to watch the Mark of Zorro or something like that.
Yeah.
And then they took a shortcut to Crime Alley, and then
yeah, they get jumped by this guy called.
That is such a great place. Take a shortcut.
Right?
Yes. And you think to yourself, you people are rich. You should know better than to go down a place like Crime Alley. Well, that's probably the unofficial name, for the underworld or somewhere like that. It's a good place to get mugged. Probably that's where criminals wait for the rich snobs to come down. So you think to yourself, of all the places, why did you have to come down this alley? Why is a mugger waiting down a dark alley? Because he's nervous. He doesn't want any trouble. All he wants is your money. Or something like that. So that's what he wanted.
Yeah, Thomas, you're right. The person who killed Bruce's parents is named Joe Chill. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Joe Chill. And And, yeah, and because of that, poor Bruce was left alone in the world. Well, not totally alone because he had a surrogate.
He's not alone. He has Alfred.
Yeah, I said not. You didn't listen.
Awesome.
I said not. I didn't say. I didn't. If you just listened, you would have said he was not totally alone. He had a surrogate family in the way of our good pal Alfred, loyal butler to his family, and Dr. Leslie. What's the rest of her name? Dr. Leslie
Tompkins, and I love her so much too.
Yes.
So I'm looking at his dad's wiki page.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, this Negro saw like a meteorite shower type thing, and it turned out to be kryptonite.
What?
Or it says here that he went to inspect whatever it was, and it was some alien crystal, and when he touched it, his mind was transported to Krypton, and he met Jor-El.
Okay, I'm back.
Who, Bruce's dad?
Yes.
What?
Bruce's dad. And then Jor-El was telling him that he was trying to figure out where he was going to send his son to be safe because Krypton was about to be destroyed, and he was so impressed with Thomas Wayne that he decided to send Superman to Earth.
What did Bruce decide to do with himself because of it? What did he swear to do? He made a promise to his dead parents. Everyone out there, you all know what the answer is. It turns out Bruce made a promise to his parents that he would make sure that what happened to him would
doesn't
not
happen
ever
to anybody else, which is a lie because it has happened to so many people because he doesn't kill people. God damn it, Bruce. Why you not kill?
If Batman wanted to kill, he would have done it, but he decided not to. Just enough. It's just enough that they wet their pants at the sight of the mere name of him or everything like that. I suppose. Somebody that comes up out of nowhere and I love it the way
he's trying to be better.
True.
Yeah.
Than the criminals. He's trying to prove that you can do stuff. You don't have to kill people in order to make ends meet.
Right.
Yeah. You can just
because
meet the end of my fist.
Otherwise, what would be the difference between Batman and a serial killer?
True,
exactly.
That's true.
Because then his MO would be he goes after people he considers criminals.
Right, that's true.
Are we listening, Jason Todd?
That's later. He's not. I can fangirl over him later.
All right, but so what Bruce did with all the money in his family, he used it to train himself in the art of being a good detective, martial arts.
Didn't Ra's al Ghul train him?
Oh, there are different versions of it, and he did. I think in his travels he did run into Ra's al Ghul as well. But mostly Bruce did it all himself when he was growing up. He got into police work and detective work and everything. But in his research and everything, he discovered the famous Batcave under Wayne Manor.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Let's not forget that he was also afraid of bats at first.
Exactly, and
that was his fear.
Yes, and when he actually discovered the Batcave, he thought this was a good place to set up, shop, everything, to hide all his secret stuff and everything, crime-fighting stuff. And of course, bats, because they scared him, he thought, what a great idea, because most people, let
me take over, my fear and conquer it and become the thing that everybody else fears.
With all his wealth and everything, Bruce got together, Kevlar, bat suits, something that armored him against attacks. But instead of using guns and everything, he has his famous utility belts full of all kinds of things. Grappling hooks, batarangs, tracking devices.
Yeah, he has everything in that belt. Every goddamn
He probably has lipstick and mascara for whatever chick he's out with that night.
Right?
That's the real reason why Catwoman's with him. He breaks the nails, got the nail clipper there.
Mm-hmm. But we should also where does Bruce get all that stuff? It's from Wayne Tech Enterprises as well, because thanks to Lucius Fox, who runs it on his behalf when Bruce isn't in town doing things.
Lucius Fox, I loved him so much in the Christopher Nolan movies. Freaking Morgan Freeman. Oh, he's so awesome in those movies.
Yes, he's definitely a very responsible man in those movies. Yeah, he's very good. So Bruce or Batman uses it to go around cleaning up the streets. Only the night shift, as he points out. But he has made the acquaintance of the law. He's sort of like a cultural icon for Gotham City, isn't he?
Speaking of the law, let's not forget that he befriends the best cop in Gotham City, basically Jim Gordon.
Yes, Jim Gordon. Yes. Jim Gordon, who started off police officer, worked his way up to captain, and then finally commissioner.
Yep.
What a guy.
Yep.
A very rare thing to have a very decent cop in Gotham City in the good old days.
Yeah, it's like, I feel like, especially, like, since watching Gotham, like, all the cops are so, like, the whole police department is, like, so corrupted, and it's, like, so ridiculous that you just have one person who's trying his hardest to, like, follow the law and, you know, make sure, you know, he doesn't screw up.
Yeah. And because Batman has been such a big help to the police and everything, when it's getting a little bit over their heads, that's where the famous bat symbol comes in, isn't it?
Yep, the bat signal.
Yes, put it up, you know, when there's especially things that concern Batman or something like that. And yeah, and so it's a very good idea, you know. And how does Bruce get over the fact, you know, that he is Batman? He has to give a jet-setting Playboy image during the day when he's out and about. Doesn't he?
Even when he's Batman, he's still Bruce Wayne.
but he's very good. You know, when he's out and about and at night time, especially when he's out with a lady or something. I have to work late tonight. She says, "Oh yeah, I've heard that one before," or something like that. Saying, "Oh yeah, he does have to work late. You just don't know, lady." Oh yeah, but
Well,
yeah,
do you wanna delve into Bruce's relationships just in general?
Huh.
Iris, go ahead. Fangirl over Bruce and Selina. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I don't know what to say.
Go on.
It's just, I really, really like their relationship because even though, you know, she's the quote-unquote villain, it's just, I don't know, they just work so well together.
I don't really see Catwoman as a villain. I feel like she's doing things for herself, like, you know, stealing things just for money. And,
yeah,
like, if she like, you know, if she wants to, you know, whatever she wants, like, if she wants something for money, like, she'll steal it. I don't consider her as a villain.
That's why, like, they started putting her on teams and stuff now with the New 52.
Right.
But she started off as one of his villains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's ended up becoming a lot more, and now in one of the worlds, they're even married, and the Huntress is their daughter.
Yes.
That's the 52 universe.
I fully support that.
Yes, so do I.
I like to think of Catwoman sort of like on the fence, you know, she's good and bad when she wants to be, you know, she's got a conscience at least, unlike most other Gotham villains and everything like that, you know, and, you know, her affection for Bruce, you know, because, you know, has actually, or Batman in this case before, you know, has come, saved his neck, and of course he's returned the favor on numerous occasions, hasn't
he? Yes.
Of course, for me, like, even more than Catwoman, that's like my favorite romantic relationship he has. But my favorite friendship that Bruce has is definitely with Superman.
Yes,
like,
I agree.
I love their relationship so much.
Yeah.
You know, if you read the comic and you even watch the movies of the Batman versus Superman or whatever, they're so funny.
They're incredible together.
They end up becoming best friends is just amazing. That's why I'm really excited that they're doing the live action movie.
Right.
With, you know, Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill, because I'm so excited to see that, like, with them too.
Yeah,
Let's just hope they don't screw it up. Let's just hope they don't screw it up.
I don't think they will, because they know what they have riding on their shoulders, so I don't think they're gonna screw up anything.
Yeah. Anything else?
I guess we can talk about Bruce and Talia, but I don't want to.
No,
yes, I know.
That was just a drawn-out booty call.
How do you explain?
They were literally just having sex, and then she was using him so she could have a baby. To have her own little bat child.
I was about to say, then explain Damien.
That she just wanted him to have the baby, and then she even have the baby. She literally just wanted his sperm so she could infect one of her eggs and then grow it in her little artificial womb. She did not care about Bruce. If she cares about Damien at all, it's literally because he popped out of her vagina. And then that's literally the extent of that relationship, because then this bitch went and made another one.
Let's go into the villains. We shall do Joker last. Joker we're gonna do last, because it's Joker, and he's like the best out of the best. Okay, guys, who's your favorite Batman villain?
Iris, you go first.
I don't know, cause it's just, there's so many different, there's so many different media versions of Batman, and each one has their own villain. Like, it's really hard for me to just choose one.
Yeah.
That I like.
Yeah.
Like, I cannot tell you who my favorite villain would be, just because there have been so many, and that all of them have been done so well.
Right.
Yeah.
That it's like, if I would say that one is my favorite, but then I think about the other one, it's just like,
Yeah.
Right, I agree. So,
Yeah, I agree too.
Well, pick, I don't know, your top 3 favorite villains.
I would have to say I really enjoy the Penguin from, Batman Returns?
Yeah.
I really liked him in that movie. I really liked Bane from the last movie.
Oh, Bane in Dark Knight Rises. Oh my god, he was just so amazing.
And I've always been a huge fan of Mr. Freeze.
Oh, Mr. Freeze is like my number 1 villain for me.
Yeah.
I just adore him. And speaking of Penguin, Iris, if you like Penguin in Batman Returns, you'll definitely enjoy Penguin in Gotham.
Yeah, he's doing a good job, the actor who's playing him.
Like, the character development for his character in Gotham is so good. It's like, this is a person, like, what he's turning into in Gotham, and it's like, it's so amazing.
Yes. I have a feeling that his his former employer, Miss Mooney, aka Fish, is going to be the poorest fish of all, in his own words. I can just picture him saying, and you're going to be the poorest fish of all, Miss Mooney. I think he's going to relish that.
Okay, my favorite villains, like I said, Mr. Freeze, just his origin in Batman the Animated Series was so... What's up, Iris?
Good.
What, Iris?
Sad.
Animated movie they did with him.
Oh, it was just so beautiful. It's like,
Good. It is amazing.
It was just so beautiful. And like his origin story in, what was the name of the episode? I think it was called, Heart of Ice or
Heart of Ice, yeah.
Yeah, that episode was just so flawless. And everybody uses that episode nowadays. Whenever they talk about Mr. Freeze, they go back to that one episode. They have to call back to it because it was just so amazing.
Yeah, it was.
It's just so, I just love that episode so much. And it's sad, like, to see, Mr. Freeze, like, go down this psychotic path because all he wanted to do was get his wife back and,
Yeah.
But when he did get his wife back, it turned out he lost her anyway because it turned out his condition made him worse.
Yeah.
If you choose to believe that.
Well, no, because I remember, like, I don't know if it's in the comics, but I heard, like, they did bring his wife back, and then...
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, and then she had superpowers, but they were, like, pertaining to fire, or something like that, yeah.
It was. It turned out he tried putting a shattered body in a Lazarus pit, and it revived her as a...
God damn it, the Lazarus pits.
Yes, I know, they get around too much. But he put her in a Lazarus pit. She was revived as some...
She was like some pyro...
Some fire entity.
Yeah.
Yeah, some fire entity, and she was insane, and she claimed that she hated him,
Yeah.
Yeah, that, so the poor fellow, was...
I don't have any other favorite villains, aside from Mr. Freeze. Maybe Two-Face, kind of, a little bit. And then, I want to say Joker, but we're gonna just talk about the Joker and Harley, like, separately.
It's like, Joker's cool, but it's just like,
Really?
I mean, like I said, he's cool, but there's just so many other villains, and everybody always falls back to the Joker.
To the Joker. Yeah, that's true.
Like
what I like about each villain is they all have habits and mannerisms that are just stronger than they are. No matter how many times they try and break their habit or anything, or mannerism, they just can't do it, can they? Like the Riddler, he's hell-bent on leaving riddles, and even in the comic books, he tried to train himself not to leave riddles when he commits a crime, but he didn't do it because he was subconsciously leaving riddles like he was sleepwalking or something like that. Or
Go ahead, Thomas, go ahead.
Or there was Harvey Dent's Two-Face, no matter how many times, he had plastic surgery done on him to get over his Two-Face personality, was always brought back in some way or another, and so on and so forth.
No, but Two-Face's personality, that's a disorder, isn't that a multiple personality disorder?
Yeah, he's got a double personality, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like all the Batman villains, like, they have, like, some type of disorder, a real disorder. It's not like, this is Two-Face, this is Penguin, this is Joker, this is, Mr. Freeze. I feel like they all have, like, some kind of medical disorder.
Yeah, I know, but you see, what I find interesting is no matter how, even when they do actually try and get over it, it always comes back no matter what they do. It's just stronger than they are.
Yeah. Should we go into all the Robins and all the Batgirls?
I suppose we have to. We are talking about Batman. You can't have Batman without Robin.
Yeah, that's true. And wasn't
Yeah, but let us start with the first, original, and the best one, Dick Grayson, or Richard Grayson is his full name, aka Robin, who later on went to be aka the handsome Nightwing.
And he was Batman for a little bit before.
Richard
Exactly, he was.
Dick Grayson, known for his ass and not his cunt, ironically, with his name.
Mm-hmm. True that.
So that's why these days they always say Richard.
He was fine before the New 52 happened, and it's like, it just went downhill, and I'm like, ugh.
Now, like Bruce, poor Richard had his own personal tragedy as well, didn't he? He was an acrobat in the one of the Flying Graysons.
Yeah, at Haley Circus.
Yes, and what had happened to his family to leave him all in the care of one Bruce Wayne?
Well, what's his face? Tony Zuko sabotaged the act and basically killed his parents and his whole family.
And the reason why he did that?
Wasn't it for money? Or something like that? Or security?
It normally is, something security money or something like that. You know, he wanted to get money off the circus or something, and, accidents happen so easy even to performers, and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, and I do love the Batman, the animated series episode, Robin's Reckoning. That was just such a good episode. I love both parts of that episode. I just fell in love with Robin, right away because of that episode when I was 7, 8 years old.
Yeah. And so with his acrobatics and training, Bruce takes him under his wing, and he becomes the boy wonder Robin, as it were.
Yep.
Because Flying Grayson, what was it? Richard's father had told him that he was, he flew in like a robin.
He looked like a robin, yeah.
Yeah, he flew in like a robin.
Yep.
Batman and Robin. It's got a very nice ring to it. And then of course, they fought crime for quite some time, didn't they? And finally,
and then Dick got sick of Bruce's shit and is like, "Peace out, I'm out of here."
Yep.
I'm done with your nonsense. I'm gonna do my own thing. And he did.
Exactly.
He is official. He is the official leader of the Teen Titans. He becomes Nightwing, and like I said, before the New 52, he was Batman for a little while. Iris, you have any comments about Dick besides his butt?
Yeah. He was cool. But as far as Robins go, my favorite one is, as you know, Tim.
Tim, yeah.
He's my favorite of them all.
Yes.
But I always liked Dick's character, and of course, like you guys were saying, Teen Titans, and the comics and stuff.
Right.
I really liked him as what he did as Batman.
Yeah. I enjoyed that too, and the way he was training Damian not to be a psycho and not to kill. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was good to see actually that Robin actually spread his wings and became his own individual hero, and he does do Gotham, but he does the closest neighboring city, doesn't he?
Yeah, Bloodhaven, and that's the best place. I feel like he went to the best city ever to become his own superhero because Bloodhaven was just
as bad as Gotham.
Yeah, no, it was worse than Gotham.
Mm-hmm.
It was worse than Gotham. It's really, you move here.
Yeah. Why do you move here? But, you had Nightwing. And, because of, Dick's absence, Bruce was back to himself as Batman, but, he picked up another chappie by the, name of Jason Todd. And how did they meet?
Yay! I'm just yay.
Yes, the handsome Jason Todd. In case you haven't noticed, people, she really digs him.
I love Jason so much. Well, okay, basically, Jason was this street kid, and he wanted to steal the tires of the Batmobile.
Which he did successfully as well.
He did in the comics. Really, I did not know that.
Yeah, Bruce felt this fellow had potential and took him under his wing. Unfortunately, unlike Dick, Jason was a bit of a loose cannon, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
He meant well, but he was just a little bit careless when he did it.
Yeah, he was very careless. He just wanted to do his own thing. He didn't want to listen to Batman at all. He would have gone far as to killing a criminal, and
or getting himself killed.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that in a second. and basically disobeying Bruce's orders. So in the 80s, what DC did is that before Death of the Family came out, DC Comics, they had like a vote thing, like if you call this number, the character lives. If you call a certain number, the character dies. So
it was the narrowest of margins that the character will die, it turned out.
It
was very close.
I heard that it was rigged. Like somebody like programmed their computer to have their telephone hooked up to that certain number, and like the phone was and the calls were rigged. So the votes were rigged. So DC had to kill him off anyway.
Oh, darn. Oh, well, that's whatever makes the readers happy. Well, it certainly did make Jason happy. It was a quest to find his missing.
Just really hated Jason.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. That's what I felt like that. Like,
they took their hatred to a whole other level.
Yeah, I know. That's like insane. It's like really over one character.
Yeah, but what was the sad thing was Jason was in looking out for his long lost mother, and he did eventually find her.
He finds
turned
her.
in
And then she
in the Middle East of all
and then
places.
she backstabs him and turns him over to the Joker, and one of the most iconic scenes in comic book history happens. I consider it to be iconic, not because it's Jason, but if you read anything in any comic book history, like, you actually see a character die right in front of your eyes, it's like something insane.
Yeah, to pick off. Anyway, some unforeseeable events causes our pal Jason to be resurrected, and he's not quite the same person he once was.
Yeah, he's kind of psycho now.
Yes, Lazarus, he certainly is not. Well, he's not.
But he was trained by Raish and Talia.
And Jason went back to Gotham, and he assumed the identity of an old alias of the Joker, the Red Hood.
Yeah.
Where he started a major crackdown on criminals.
Also known as Condom Head.
You're funny.
Also known as it. Oh, yes. Right.
That was an absolutely terrible costume.
No, not
that's
that.
Why,
not
why
that
else do you
costume.
think? Why else do you think?
What?
Why else do you think?
I mean, what, Thomas?
Why else do you think Jason altered it so it looked better, so he wouldn't be laughed at? Well, we were talking about Jason, how he's now the Red Hood, and now how he's he's a crime fighter, but he takes it to the extreme level
he does his own thing. Yeah, he does his own thing. He doesn't send villains off to jail. Nope, he just flat out kills them.
Yeah, and he tried to prove his points with the Joker, especially to Batman when they met up again. But once again, it turned out that Batman outsmarted him, and the look on Jason's face when he did it, even in the comic book, I find that incredible. The Joker found it incredible.
Batman under the Red Hood movie. Iris, have you seen that yet?
I have not.
You have to watch it. Please, for the love of God, just watch it.
I don't like Jason. He's not my favorite character.
Okay, that's reasonable then, I guess.
Yeah, but so he is still around now. He's a member of the Outlaws and everything like that.
Well, that's his own team with the New 52 with Starfire and Roy. And people out there who are bitching about the first issue, get over it. It's been 3 years. Okay, the comic is really fun. It's a fun read. It's like if you're not doing anything and you want to read a comic book, read that, because Jason, Roy, and Starfire, their friendship is just so amazing. I love it so much.
Mm-hmm. So that leaves our friend Jason. I mean, let's see. It's very good. It's very interesting, isn't it, how they turn out. Let's see. Dick becomes his own after being a Robin. He becomes his own superhero. Jason, he becomes, what do we call him? Vigilante? Anti-hero? What?
Yeah, he's more like an anti-hero. Well, the New 52, he's kind of in between vigilante and anti-hero.
But you still like him anyway.
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay, so let's move on to Tim.
Yes, the young and handsome Tim Drake. So, what was his story?
Iris's favorite Robin.
Yes. Alright, Iris, and if you know so much about him, can you tell us about him?
Well, she doesn't know his origin.
Earlier, I don't know how he became Robin. I got to know Tim by reading the Teen Titan comics, and in that comic, the origin is about the Teen Titans, like how they end up getting started.
Well,
but I did know that his dad was still alive, So it wasn't that Bruce kidnapped yet another orphan child off the streets. Tim would, he'd be with his dad, and then on the weekends he would go do, school nights too, but on the weekends is when he would spend the most time with the Teen Titans and Bruce and all that stuff.
It's like an after school gig. With Tim. It's like an after school job. Except you put your life on the line.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tim's origin with Bruce is that, Tim, he basically finds out who Batman and Robin are, like through his own like detective work.
Yeah.
So Bruce
he's quite a bright spark, isn't
he? Yeah, he's basically the smart Robins. He's like the most intelligent one out of all of them.
Exactly. And so he's still with our pal Bruce, isn't he?
No, he's not. Not in the New 52.
Oh.
No.
Oh, what's he been doing with? Is he?
Teen Titans. He's leader of the Teen Titans.
Oh, I see.
And I don't know what's going on with him because I don't read the New 52 comics because I don't really like the Teen Titans comics in the New 52. Like, I read bits and pieces, but my knowledge is really, really limited. Like, I know about Tim through the old universe, not the new universe, because I've read, like, his entire comic, like the whole Red Robin series.
Yeah.
I've read the entire thing, like I have it on my iPad, and some of the stories are good. Like there was a story where Raish, he wanted Tim to be his successor because Bruce was quote unquote dead, and then there's stuff about, like Connor and Tim's friendship and Wonder Girl and, all that stuff. What, Iris?
I did not say anything.
Oh, I thought you said
something.
To you. Oh, sorry. And then there's also this one story where Tim is fake engaged to Lucius's daughter because Bruce is like quote unquote dead, and he needs to be in charge of Wayne Enterprises or something like that. So yeah, there's like I know bits and pieces of him. Of his life.
Very complicated, nice complicated history, isn't it? It always seems to be that way for superheroes.
Yep.
And so, shall we talk about? So we've done Richard, we've done
Jason, Tim.
We've done
Stephanie.
So now
Stephanie was a
Stephanie.
Robin. Yeah, Stephanie was a Robin.
Mm-hmm. Who was Stephanie?
You don't know who's? Wow, really, Tom?
There are certain things of the Batman history I haven't been kept up with.
Yes.
That she was Tim's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Ah.
And that's how she gets kind of involved with the stuff, and then when Tim decides he's not going to be Robin anymore, she steals his outfit.
Yeah.
She starts running around being Robin until she decides that she's not going to be Robin, she's going to be Batgirl.
Yeah.
And it was a beautiful for everyone involved.
And we also have to mention Carrie Kelly, even though that's an alternate universe, but she is a Robin. Mm-hmm. In an alternate universe where Bruce is like really, 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 really old, like I think in his 80s or something like that. But yeah, we need to mention her too.
Mm-hmm. From a little jerk, and he's turning away to be quite a good hero.
That little shit, I love him so much.
Oh yes, you just want to glomp him, don't you?
I do, like seriously, like that little pain in the ass child. Oh, I love him so much. And then I was all disappointed when he died.
For those of you who are wondering who the heck is Damian Wayne, I think it's perfectly obvious.
Then you need to go pick up a damn comic book because you shouldn't be wondering who he is.
Obviously, he has Bruce's last name. Who do you think he is? He is the legitimate son of
his cousin. I'm just joking.
No, listeners. He's actually
That's what
a child.
Person would say.
He's actually a product of Bruce Wayne and Talia. These foreign names, they really get to me. Talia, Al Ghul, which using a sperm sample and artificial womb and other bits and pieces from her father's organization, she grows her own boy.
I hate you.
The young Damien. Yes, I can see the hate marks rising off, young Pudra and Iris at this very moment.
All of it. All of my hate.
Yes, have you ever seen those animes where a person gets really large and there's huge flames in the background? That's what she's doing right now.
That's me right now. All of my hate for that woman.
And it turns out that Damien is trained to be an assassin and a killer, and it's the biggest surprise for Batman, isn't it?
Yes.
He was Bruce Wayne.
He was basically trained from a child, not even a child, a little baby to be Raish's successor. And then Bruce shows up, and then he's like, "What? I have a son? When did this
Well,
happen?
he's going, what, I have a father?
No, but Damien's always known that Batman was his dad.
Right, yeah, he did know. He did
So
know.
it wasn't a surprise to him. I loved his origin comic, the story that they did.
Oh,
where it
Son of
shows
Batman,
him,
yes.
like, from a baby until
Yes.
he goes to find Bruce. And they show this cute little 4-year-old kid that he finds the Batman outfit and he, like, puts it on.
Oh, yes.
It was so
It's
adorable.
So cute. Oh,
Yes.
I love that so much. That was New 52 stuff. And I think
so adorable.
And I thought that was really beautiful.
But of course, eventually, it leads to, complications, doesn't it, for, Damien, doesn't it?
Yeah, because Talia Talia dumped Damien on Bruce, like, to raise him, or whatever. Yeah. And then, so Damien, he basically becomes Robin while Bruce is quote-unquote dead. And, he basically learns everything from Dick because at this point in time in the comics, Dick is Batman, so the two are like bouncing off each other and trying to, Dick's trying to keep Damien in line and being like, I should have the Batman costume, not you. And he resents Tim for being a Robin before him, and it's just like so much drama. And
because, Damien's so old, so he could have been a Robin.
Yeah.
Right?
But he's a 10-year-old child.
No,
so.
No, but Damien, even with Robins, there is still a pecking order, as it were, and you are at the bottom, matey. This child thinks that just because I'm my father's son, I deserve to have all this, not you. Not you adopted children, I deserve to have everything my dad has. Yes, well, they've got something you don't have quite much of yet, as it turned out. He gained experience. But mind you, I'm pleased to see, as he's gone on, he has mellowed a little, but he's getting there slowly but surely.
No, not a little, Thomas. He has mellowed out a lot, especially in the New 52. Like, his character development, it was just phenomenal. I loved it so much. And
I'm liking the...
Go ahead, Thomas.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm liking the fact that he's actually got himself a couple of pets, so it's nice to see he's got a caring side.
I love his pets. I love Titus. I love Alfred. Iris, I don't know if you know this, but, Damien has a pet cat, and he named him Alfred.
I didn't know he had a cat. I knew about the cow, and I knew about the dog.
Yeah, and he has a cow, and they officially named her Bat Cow, and it's just so adorable that he has all these pets. It's like, you little child, I love you so much.
It's nice to see that he does have a caring side. He may not think much of people, but at least animals, he has quite a fond side for them.
And he's very artistic. Like, I've seen, like the Batman and Robin comics that I've read before he died, like, Bruce, like, he goes into Damien's room and he sees, like, a ton of sketch pads and, like, he has, like, drawings and stuff.
Yes, of mutilations and everything like that.
What, Iris?
That he's like Milo.
Yeah, pretty much. He's like Milo. Yeah, he's like Milo from Korra.
Yeah. He's got problems, but he's getting over them. But we should point out Damien did die, and it was because of a clone, wasn't it? Of himself.
It wasn't even a clone. It was literally just like the same thing. She took more sperm, and she made another baby. But this time they like genetically modified it.
Yes.
And that's why it looked all twisted and stuff.
Yeah.
What was it called? What was he called again?
His other child. Coming to kill his full-blooded brother.
Yeah.
I know. What was his name again?
His name was, the Heretic. That's what they call him.
Oh, yeah, Heretic is right. I'm thinking to myself, don't kill your brother, go kill your father. He's turned you into a freak, man. Look at you.
And Damien went out like a little champ. He did. He was just surviving. Like, everything was thrown at him, like arrows, bullets, punches.
Is surviving the best word to use? In this situation?
Well, I mean, before he had a sword impaled into his chest, he was just going like a little champ, and he was begging Talia, call off this monster. He was telling her to stop. She did not stop.
But I was very pleased that even though with Damien meeting his maker for the time being, just like Jason, Bruce actually managed to avenge his boy and cut off that thing's head at long last. I'm thinking to myself,
didn't Talia do that?
No, actually it was Bruce. He finally beat it and, he cut its head off.
I don't remember Bruce doing that. I thought it was Talia. Let me actually...
No, I'm pretty sure somebody cut its head off, or it might have been one of them, but
No,
I'm thinking
I think it was Talia, because she was getting sick of Heretic not paying attention, like not listening to her, and she just...
Yeah, that's it. Especially, Bruce had beaten it real badly, despite it being perfect and everything, and she got sick of it as well, and saying you're a failure, cut your head off, so that was the end of him. Saying, good riddance.
And to all the viewers who are listening to this, thank you guys so much for enjoying and watching my Damian Wayne video that I did the day he died. I just love that you guys are like so into watching that video. Thank you so much.
But she's over the moon now that he's back. With that, we shall now move on from Robins to Batgirls.
Yes.
And who was the very first original Batgirl? Why, it was the daughter of one James Gordon, a.k.a. Barbara Gordon.
Yep.
Batgirl. Now, how did that work exactly?
I actually don't remember her origin story. I can't remember. Because I know her origin story from the animated series. I do not know her origin story in the comics.
Well, what is it in the animated series?
Basically, Barbara was trying to clear Jim Gordon's name because of some protest or some crap. I don't know.
Yeah, Two-Face set him up to make it look like he was taking bribes from Rupert Thorne.
Yes.
And she decided to do her own little detective work and everything like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
that's what it was.
And the police were holding a protest march to support Gordon and everything like that, and Batman couldn't be there, but so she went dressed up as in a version of Batman's costume, and she just got a taste for it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Even though, despite the police, don't do that again, you just couldn't keep her away. The return of Batgirl, she liked it.
Yeah. And let's not forget, Babs and Dick's relationship kind of blossomed from that whole thing of her being Batgirl. I think their first kiss was when Barbara was Batgirl for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Like he steals a kiss from her and then he leaves, which I think is really super adorable.
Yeah. It was. I just remember reading those panels.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she did that for quite some time. Unfortunately, it all came crashing down when our pal the Joker turns up and decides to play another joke.
The Killing Joke is like so amazing. I love that book so much. Not because Barbara gets shot, but like you kind of have a sneak peek at the Joker's origin. It could be his origin. It couldn't be his. Because like the Joker likes to lie a lot, so we don't know if he's telling the truth or not.
Mm-hmm. And for those of you who are not aware, what Joker does, he does indeed shoot Barbara. Unfortunately, he deliberately shoots her so it leaves her unable to move her legs.
Yeah, she's crippled.
And then jokes on him because she turns into a badass.
Oh, I love her.
He does, the Oracle.
My favorite version of Babs. Yes. The Oracle. She goes on to be part of Birds of Prey. Just absolutely amazing.
Yes,
you cannot keep this chick down.
Yep.
She will literally be in the hospital bed, dying, and she'll still be kicking ass.
Yes.
In fact, in, Batman Beyond, she's the freaking commissioner. Yes.
And I'd just like to say, if what you say is true, then it certainly is Gotham, but there's still a Commissioner Gordon in charge.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Except Barbara Gordon. Commissioner Barbara Gordon, yes.
Yeah.
It's a family tradition.
Yeah, but yeah, like you said, Iris, she is so kick-ass as Oracle. I love her so much as Oracle. Like, just cause her legs are broken doesn't mean that she can still kick your ass. She can.
It wasn't even that they were broken. She was paralyzed from the waist down. Yeah. But that did not stop her.
That didn't stop her.
She was so amazing. So amazing that she even had to kill herself off. Fake kill herself off.
Right.
And then come back as something else. But then we never really got a chance to see what that was because they decided to go forward with the new 52.
Yeah.
Leave it to your imaginations, listeners.
Yeah.
And so, with Barbara out of the way, who had to take up the Batgirl mantle?
Stephanie Brown.
Go ahead, my favorite Batgirl.
Yeah, I enjoyed her a lot too.
She starts off as the spoiler. She turns into Robin, and then she goes into Batgirl.
Yep.
She gets the brand new black and purple outfit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And she's just so, like, the best word to describe her is spunky.
Yeah, she's really, really spunky.
She was so cool. My favorite story with Stephanie is this one-shot comic that they write, like just before Bruce comes back from his fake death.
Yeah.
Where she's being stalked by this guy, and, you know, she figures out where he's at, she kicks butt, and then it turns out that it was Bruce the entire time.
Yeah.
Just trying to see if she was still on top of things, and then she slaps him so hard across the face, because she's so pissed off, and then they just stand there, staring at each other in shock, and then she's like, oops, oh, I'm glad you're back, and then she takes off running.
Yeah, gotta spread the good word around.
So funny.
And at least she's around in the New 52. They just brought her back, like, recently. Like, she's going on, she's going at spoiler right now.
Something interesting about Stephanie also.
What's that?
Is that she is a teen mom, if I remember correctly.
Yes, she is. She is.
So that was like a cool, like story, or, you know, not a storyline, but like a cool, like, character trait, I guess.
Yes.
You know, as far as representation goes for girls.
Yeah. Like you said, like the representation in the old universe, like, you know, Barbara's paralyzed, yet she can, you know, do so much. And then you have Stephanie, who's like a teen mom, and yet she, you know, she'll still kick ass, you know. Representation matters. It really does.
It certainly does.
And then
because well, it certainly didn't stop Bruce. You know, he didn't. You know, he lost his parents, but at least he, you know, does something with himself. And you know, I think that's the whole point, isn't it?
So are you saying that some random orphan on the streets can become Batman?
No, I'm just saying if you have the right get up and go, you know, motivation. You know, I'm not going to let this get on top of me. I'm going to do something about it. You know, that kind of thing. I'm just saying. You know, because Bruce, you know, he lost his parents, but he told himself, I'm not going to let this get me down. I'm going to do something about it. You know, same like, you know, and he encouraged others, you know, that were in similar situations. They took a leaf out of his book or page out of his book.
I mean, I guess in that aspect, he does represent stuff, but we have so many other white male straight characters.
True.
That have the same exact, you know, orphan status as Bruce.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, true.
That, I mean,
so true.
I think that it stands out more, you know, the paralyzed woman, the teen mom, and then going on into representation, Cassandra Cain, Asian.
Yeah, she's Asian. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yep. They certainly did. So
yeah, let's go into Cassandra.
Cassandra. Now, what do we know about Cassandra?
Because I don't know much about her at all. Like, I know she exists.
I don't know either. I just know that she was Batgirl.
All I know is that she exists.
She's the daughter of Lady Shiva.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, Lady Shiva. Well, that explains an awful lot then.
And she was born and raised in Hong Kong. Awesomeness.
Well, there you go.
And that is pretty much it, because after that, the New 52 happened, and then she doesn't exist right now.
They got rid of her, but she did come back.
I haven't seen her.
There was a storyline where they do bring her back for like an issue or two. And then she had really long hair, and so I think some people were complaining about that.
People complain about everything with the New 52.
Can't you people just be happy?
No, we can never be happy.
Okay, so that's quite a long line, isn't there? Quite a long line of Robins and quite a long line of Batgirls.
And since we are speaking of Batman, we have to talk about the Batman of the future in 2020, was it?
I think so.
We have to talk about Batman Beyond and Terry McGinnis. Okay, yeah. So Batman Beyond, Terry McGinnis. What do you guys know about this character?
I just watched the first episode of Batman Beyond.
Oh, really? What did you think?
2 weeks ago.
What did you think?
And so it was, because I've seen the show before. I've seen like all these animated shows. I've seen episodes here and there, but I had never seen the first episode of Batman Beyond.
Rebirth. Yeah, that is such a
What can you
good
tell
episode.
us?
And so basically Terry's there, his parents are divorced. He's, they've got this group, I think they're called the Jokers or whatever.
Yeah.
That they take after the Joker, and that they try to make people laugh by doing sinister things.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then on the side you have this other guy, I don't remember his name, but
Derek Powers. Derek Powers.
Huh?
His name is
Derek Powers.
Derek Powers.
Yes, that dude, that he's the main villain. he shows up at Terry's dad's house and kills him while Terry's out.
Yeah, with his girlfriend.
And while Terry's out, he meets Batman.
Yeah, he meets Bruce as an old man because the Jokers they kind of ganged up on Bruce. Yeah. And of course they're thinking, oh, he's an old man, you know, he can't fight or whatever, but Bruce showed them wrong.
It's the future.
Exactly. So when Terry figures out that Bruce is Batman, he goes back to Wayne Manor asking him for help to avenge his father.
Yeah.
And he tries to say like, oh, well, you know, it's not just for my dad. This will help everybody in the city or whatever.
Yeah,
and Bruce tells him no, and so Terry steals the bat suit.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. He steals the new bat suit.
Yes,
he steals it.
That's why it's called Batman Beyond, people, because it's set in the future and technology has come a long way.
Have you ever seen Batman Beyond, Thomas?
Only the episode you saw me of where we run into the Joker after his
no,
supposed...
that's the movie. So that's the only thing you saw, Batman Beyond, really? You never saw the series?
Oh, I'm aware of it. I've never actually watched it because I think to myself, I think I prefer a Monterey series.
No, Thomas, it's really, really good. Like, I feel like, you know, Bruce Wayne, he's Batman, like, everybody knows Batman, like, that's like our parents' generation Batman, but Batman Beyond, I feel like, is our generation of Batman because this is a new Batman, and he's a kid. He's not an adult. He's a teenager. That's what I felt when the show first aired in, I think, what was it, 1999?
Mm.
And like, I was like 14 years old at the time, so I'm like, this is so cool. You know, there's this teenager being Batman and, you know, doing all this awesome stuff. You should really give the show a chance. You should, Thomas. You should give the show a chance.
If you like Batman, the animated series,
you'll definitely like Batman.
The animated series, then you'll like Batman Beyond.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Something else that, if I remember correctly, didn't it turn out that Terry was Bruce's like clone?
He is.
Well, surprise.
They revealed that in the Justice League episode. I think it was called Epilogue, where Amanda Waller explains to Terry that he is Bruce's son.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And that she was telling him that, you know, if you want to have a better life than Bruce, you know, keep your loved ones closer to you. I kind of remember that line from heart. That's what she said to him.
Well.
And yeah, speaking of Return of the Joker, that movie. Poor Tim. God damn it, that movie. All my feels with that movie. That movie was so good, though.
Mm-hmm.
Only because that they brought back all the original voice actors and they brought back Mark Hamill and Harley's old voice actor. I just love that so much. That flashback scene, I swear, is like the best entire scene out of the entire movie.
Mm-hmm.
That scene and the ending fight.
That's
so incredible. And speaking of Batman Beyond, he is mainstream right now in the comics.
Who is?
The Batman Beyond stuff. It's mainstream in the DC universe.
Oh, yes, it is. Yeah, it's on the shelves and everything these days. Yeah,
but Terry is actually in the present, like through time travel. I think the issues are called Futures End, and you get to see like everybody's life, what it is in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not all roses as we like to think.
It's not, and the Batman Beyond comics, I haven't read them at all, like the recent ones that are out now, but all I know is that Bruce got Barbara pregnant, and it's like, really?
Super stupid.
I know it is, and I'm like, what?
Thinking to myself, does Gordon know? Did he kill you?
No, Dick is hella pissed right now at Bruce, because this is at the time and point where, like, they're still dating, Dick and Barbara, so...
Yeah, I dread to think how that happened.
It's like ridiculous, and I'm like, really? And I don't know what's been happening with Batman Beyond in the comics. So I know a little bit. I don't know a lot.
Sacrilege. Oh dear, the ultimate sacrilege. I'm shaking my head over that one. But so as we were talking about the Joker, I suppose we had to talk about the most iconic Batman villain of all, the Joker.
Well, I think he's overrated, to be honest.
Yeah, but don't let him hear you say that.
I mean, I love the Joker. Like, I think he's a great villain. He's a great foil to Batman, but he is really overrated. He is.
Because he likes to be the center of attention. That's his problem.
No, but I mean, like Iris was saying earlier in this podcast, like whenever some new Batman show or Batman movie comes out, right away the creators flock to the Joker because they know that's what will give them money.
Exactly. I get the impression the Joker acts like a maniac is because he doesn't want anyone to think of him as just a sad, really, really pathetic, useless little man, and that you're not funny.
Right. Wasn't his origin story in The Killing Joke is that he had a girlfriend and she was pregnant and
Yeah. Well, we were just saying that, a pregnant wife and
I didn't think he had, anything that happened to him. I think he was just crazy and he just wanted to do stuff.
Wasn't he like a stand-up comedian and then he just
supposedly.
Yeah, he was like a stand-up comedian and then he just he just went in with the wrong crowd and then and then became Red Hood and then...
As he's saying, now I'm always smiling.
Yeah.
As it were. And the interesting thing about it, I like what Batman said, I think it summed him up quite nicely in the animated series. It says, most criminals have logical motives, but the Joker's schemes make sense to him alone.
Yeah, and it's true. And even with Harley, how she was schemed into his, being, his lover and, his henchwoman, the way
kindred spirit he found.
Well, no, because he tricked her in the animated series. Like I'm going off the animated series. I don't know what her origin is in the comics, but in the animated series, the Joker, he was, playing off of Harley's weaknesses. He was telling the abusive relationship that he had with his father, and then he was saying that, oh no, my parents are divorced, and this and that, and blah, 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 and, he was just playing off of her weaknesses.
Yeah, Harley is more unlike the Joker is dangerous crazy, Harley is more funny crazy, if you want to put it like that. She's got plenty of bugs to work out, but,
No, Harley's pretty dangerous.
When she wants to be.
Definitely, I would say she's more dangerous than the Joker.
Yeah, I agree.
Because she's not crazy. She acts like that on purpose.
Yeah. Harley's not crazy.
She's
a heck of a good singer.
PhD. She's like a doctor.
Yeah, she's a doctor. She's a psychiatrist.
Was a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
What was she before she went bonkers? A clinical psychiatrist.
Yeah.
Boy, that figures. I like her singing. She's got a very nice singing voice. Yeah, but it seems to be a never-ending battle. You can't have one without the other. You gotta have a Batman or a Robin. Even in the comics, when the Joker thinks he's gotten rid of Batman, it's the only time you actually see him acting like a rational man. It's like a Mr. Hyde turning into a Dr. Jekyll after a long, long sleepwalking episode or something like that. It's incredible.
Yep.
But as soon as Batman comes back, he acts like a maniac again.
Yep, and speaking of Joker and Harley, I don't know, do you guys ship that or no?
It's an on-off relationship.
Yeah, but
it's
they're
alright.
I don't know.
No?
I said, I don't know.
Because I'm in the same boat as you, because, they work good together, but that relationship is so abusive.
Yeah. Yeah, it's on and off, and I'm thinking to myself, Harley, read between the lines, he's obviously not
It's not on and off, Tom. It's just right in your face abusive. You saw the episode Mad Love and what happened, what he did to her. He shoved her out the window.
Yeah, because his ego wouldn't accept it.
Like that.
Huh? What, Iris?
I said he's always doing crap like that.
Yeah, and then I think in the ending of the episode, she's in Arkham and she's healing and she sees a flower from the Joker and then she's like, he's such an angel and that's a good representation of abusive relationships.
Yeah, true.
In a way.
Well, it's her choice to stay and everything like that.
In the New 52, they've started putting her in more stuff. She's got her own comic now.
Yeah.
Isn't she part of the Suicide Squad too?
Yes.
And now she's coming to the big screen.
Oh, yes.
So, that will be awesome to see.
Oh, great. The Adventures of Harley Quinn. I can't wait to see that one.
No, but that's gonna be in, isn't she the main villain in the Batman and Superman movie? No, that's in Suicide Squad, right? They're making the Suicide Squad movie?
Yeah, they're making the Suicide Squad. And
yeah, I know, and the casting for that is amazing. Oh.
I'm Will Smith right now.
I know, right? Exactly.
That's what has
right?
me the most excited.
I
know they cast the Joker's Jared Leto and stuff like that, but I'm definitely super excited to have Will Smith in a DC Comics movie.
Who's he playing again? I
Is
forgot.
it Deadshot?
Deadshot, yeah, he's playing
Deadshot.
Deadshot. Oh, I can't wait for that. That's gonna be like so awesome. We should go into our favorite characters. I don't know how we're gonna do that. Like our top 3 favorite characters, because that's a lot of people to go by in the Batman universe, you know?
Oh, that's easy.
For you, it's easy.
For me, it's easy.
Okay, so then go ahead.
Bat, Selena, and Stephanie.
Okay, why?
First of all, Batman, you know.
Cause he's Batman.
After all that research, I became obsessed with Batman.
Yes.
Like, just absolutely obsessed with him. Like, obsessed.
Yep.
And then Catwoman, she's just so hot. And she does all this stuff with her, you know, she was just, it's just like, I'm just thinking right now of Anne Hathaway as Catwoman.
Oh, yes, in The Dark Knight Rises, yes.
You know, kicking ass and then being on that motorcycle, running things down.
Yeah.
Her outfit was pretty cool, especially goggles or ears, turned into goggle-like ears or something like that. That was very clever, I thought.
Yeah, she was really amazing in The Dark Knight Rises. And like that scene where she kisses Batman right in front of Talia, I was like, yes, OTP for life! OTP for life!
And I just brought up the memory of Talia and Bruce having sex in front of Thanks. I had forgotten all about that nonsense.
Did I do something wrong?
You just had to bring it back up, yes. Let's move along
and why do you like Stephanie, Iris?
Oh, because she's just so relatable.
Yeah.
Like I just love her personality, and you know she kicks butt too. But I really like how she is as a person.
What about you, Thomas? Top 3 favorite characters.
Top 3 favorites. I told you before, I've got too many to go on with the series because they're top favorites. Poison Ivy, I quite enjoy her mainly because of the fact of, well, she's a villain, of course, and everything, but she works with plants, and I find plants so very relaxing, you know, very calming, very relaxing. She enjoys plants, but you're taking fanaticism too far. But it's just that I admire anyone who cares for plants so well. Plus that I've never seen such dedication to plant work in all my life.
Well, she's kind of crazy.
Yes, I know, and hot at the same time
but
as well.
But she's also a doctor.
Yeah, she's a doctor, yeah.
Yes, PhD in mostly botany and everything like that.
Yep. Any other favorites?
Let me see. Are we still talking female ones or?
Any, just any.
Okay. Let me see. Well, I'm going to say I quite enjoy Two-Face, a guy who can, make a decision at a flip of a coin, and it's just that, a guy who really had his problems. But it was very good to see that such a guy who had problems at least tried to do it lawfully. But when he becomes a villain, it's sad to see that that right and wrong go out the window, individually, and he has to do it by the flip of a coin. If I do good things with a good head of my coin, bad head of the coin and everything like that.
But isn't that if he loses the coin, like he kind of loses focus and he loses control of himself?
Yeah, and that's when he has to rely on himself.
Yeah, and which he can because obviously Two-Face. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's been very rare occasions when he can, and so that's admirable, and at least he still struggles when he tries. And that's too many. And I don't know if I'd have to, the top I would have to maybe say the Penguin, I suppose, because he's a classic example of that, despite having a hard background and everything, he proves that, in his own words, he said that, wealthy living is the most finest revenge of all, as he points out, or something like that.
Yeah, and like me and Thomas have been saying, Gotham, his character development is amazing. Iris, I would definitely recommend watching Gotham.
It's just,
Really?
It didn't call me.
But there's lots of little Bruce and Selena shipping feels.
Slowly. Childhood friends, perhaps?
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe so much other stuff.
Top 3. 1, I would definitely have to say Mr. Freeze because is Mr.
Yeah, he's
Freeze,
good,
and he's just an amazing villain. I love his
Yes.
backstory in the animated series. I love that, he's trying desperately to save his wife and he can't, and even when he does, she ditches him and she hates him.
Yeah.
It's so heartbreaking, his story. It is. Second favorite, definitely Alfred, because he's Alfred and
he's a good guy.
It's just Alfred. You can't, I would think, God forbid, in the comics, they kill him off, the entire Bat family would be a mess.
Well, he did die once in the original comics, but he did come back.
No, I mean recently. If they kill him, legit kill him, and they don't bring him back, I feel like...
Alfred!
Yeah, I feel like the entire Bat family would be a mess.
Yes,
because Alfred holds everybody together. He holds everybody's sanity. That's what I feel like Alfred is to me.
Yeah.
And
third one?
Third favorite, definitely Jason, because I just love that guy so much. I love Jason so much. His backstory, I didn't really like his backstory that, he was a kid and that, he had these divorced parents, and then the parents were crap to him, but I did like his story that, he was trying to provide for himself being on the streets, and he was attempting to steal the tires of the Batmobile, and then, he became Robin, and then he died, and then his resurrection, and then it's just, all my feels all over the place. And that Batman Under the Red Hood movie, it just got me. Oh. But yeah, that's all my feels. Well,
I think we're done.
Well, do
you own anything Batman comics?
Anything but yes, I own several. Well, it's on my favorites page. It's on the fanfic site, but I own several large book comics, including The Killing Joke and Under the Red Hood and such.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Iris?
And the Batman films, yes, all of them.
A bunch of
and the animated series
and jackets and things like that of Batman.
Mm-hmm. I have, let me see, I'm looking at my shelf. Basically, pretty much all my trades that I have, they're all Batman related. I have something similar to, the DC Encyclopedia, except it's just Batman. It's just Batman and his rogues gallery and, the sidekicks and the villains. And I have figures, of course I have the animated series, a lot of the animated movies. I have a ton of Batman crap.
So do I, yeah. But most of the animated stuff and everything, yeah.
And I also have the Dark Knight trilogy on Blu-ray and DVD. What, Iris? You were saying something?
I was saying, I have movies and stuff like that, too.
Right. Okay, so we are done.
Okay, thank you for listening, people. This has been the Fandom Symposium. I'm Thomas Droven, and this has been Thomas Droven with Pewter723 and Iris. Thanks, girls.
And before we leave, this basically concludes our DC Comics podcast. So next time we see you guys in 2015, we'll be doing a whole new topic. We just don't know what it is yet. We're still
There's so many to go on with.
Yeah, we're still thinking about it. So until then, you guys, see you in January. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. We shall see you next year. Peace out.
Yes.
Bye.